You know, the interesting part with creativity is anybody that wants to tell you that they've got a formula, they probably aren't very creative. Part of being creative is experiencing different things. That's why I always say anybody that works for us that doesn't take their vacations, that's a problem. Because you don't get creative going to work the same way every day, doing the same thing every day. Get creative, and inspiration comes from experiencing different things, knowing different people, being curious and asking questions. But you know what? The most creative people are people that like other people, because that's where they learn shit from. I'm Chris Weil, Chairman and CEO of Momentum Worldwide. The definition of advertising has broadened so dramatically, but the stuff that I really like is, and where we're going, is the understanding of how to use location along with interest to serve relevant content. And so if I look at where the business is going, and because every time you walk out of your house, you carry three things. You grab your keys, you grab your wallet, and you grab your cell phone, right? And by the way, if you forget your keys, you'll figure it out. You forget your wallet, you'll figure it out. You forget your cell phone, you're going back. Right? And what cell phone does is it allows, from an advertising standpoint, it's going to change dramatically how our entire ecosystem works. And that's going to be fascinating to watch going forward. Which part of my work do I get the most lost in? Airplanes. I spend a lot of time on airplanes and airports. And they're not, the airports suck. You know what airports suck is US airports are bad. You look at the airport in Singapore, look at the Shanghai airport, look at the Beijing airport. These are amazing airports, and our infrastructure is just shit. Especially the New York airports. Oh my God, LaGuardia, you feel like you're landing in a third world country. There's always been a debate, is advertising a reflection of current culture, or is advertising helping shape popular culture? And I think the answer to that is both. I think advertising, when it's at its best, drafts on a moment in time and helps actually accelerate pop culture. But if we're an industry that creates demand for products, which drives sales, which drives growth, which drives the economy forward, which is what we do for a living, we have to be able to do that in a sustainable way. The role of the advertising agency world, I believe, is to help shape that conversation in the boardrooms about building sustainable products and giving back to the world as part of what global corporations should be doing. And the reason is because the next generation, this generation I'm talking to here, are going to look at products when you have price at parity and quality at parity and availability at parity, where you can really get anything you want at any time and you will know the price, because all you have to do is shoot the SKU and you'll know, look on your phone and see all the different prices. So price is no longer a differentiator. Quality is not a huge differentiator, and as we go forward, products get to parity. So what is going to be a differentiator? And one of the big differentiators, I believe, is going to be about what brands actually do, what corporations do, which means what are they giving back to the world, what are they doing, and you're going to choose that product over that one because this product cares and this one doesn't. It will be a deciding factor in the next generation. And if that's the case, then we need to work with our clients to help drive not just the product and the messaging, but what we do best, which is to change action. How do we get people to act differently? So we should play a massive role in creating products and clients and changing behavior to make the world a better place. I believe that. You know, GumboLive, first and foremost, was really created to try a different model, to attract different talent into the industry, to try to bring different thinking, and it's, as I say, millennial think tank and talent incubator. But it's become more than that. And New Orleans is different. It's an immersive city. And we've had success in bringing both internal employees, management teams, and clients down here to change their thinking in a moment in time. And I think that New Orleans, the backdrop of New Orleans actually makes that work a lot better than a backdrop of San Francisco or New York or something like that. And you look at some of the work that we're doing down here at GumboLive, it is playing with a different model that is informing a bigger model as part of a subset of what you're working on here. Because if you look at it, we hire one of you out of college and you come work for us in New York, you're going to be an assistant AE or copywriter or something like that on a single account or a single brand inside of an account or a single project inside of an account. And your exposure will be that. And then you will work your way up either through the account or onto another account or onto a new business pitch that gets you onto something else, or you'll jump agencies. Whereas here, you're getting this broad breadth of knowledge because you're working across so many different things that it makes you a different person and a different employee. And I've looked at how do we do that with our entry level, all of the people in New York or in Chicago or in LA or in London. How do we do that differently? And part of it is being formed out of here. The buzz that you get when you sit around a room and you come up with something, anything, and they're like, hey, that may work. And you start working it, and you working it, and you say, hey, that's really good. And then you start concepting it out, and graphically and visually, and how it's all going to work. And then you take it to a client, and the client likes it. And then the next thing you know, you see it out in the world. And you're like, that's pretty cool. We were just sitting in a room shooting the shit, trying to figure this out. And the next thing you know, it's across the country or around the world. That's the part that's a buzz. That's the part that keeps me in this business. And it's the part that if you don't get excited about that, when you take something from right here and it becomes real and it becomes hot and people are talking about it, that's pretty cool. So that's it. I hope I answered all your questions. Thanks for having me. Next time, let's do it cocktail hour. All right? Thank you, guys.